Tonight we're going to talk about defeating your money demons. Now, what is a money demon? A money demon is something that keeps you from having peace of mind. For those of you that have been clients for a while, you understand and know that number 19 on the 20 most answered questions talks about mindsets that will keep you from having peace of mind. And so we're going to help you answer number 19 tonight on the 20 most answered questions. And you're probably going, well, gee, Tim, why do I care? Why do you care? What does it matter? For years and years, I thought, hey, if I just provide good service and I make, help people manage their money and help them make money and everything, then they'll be happy. And that wasn't the case. In fact, I had one lady, we'll call her Mrs. Smith to protect the guilty, and she was one of my big clients, and she was the most miserable person in the world that I had ever seen. And her whole life revolved around pinching the pennies. And she had plenty of money. She could spend the money however she wanted, if she wanted. And she was just miserable because she was always worried and fretting and had all these money demons that kept her from enjoying the abundant life that she could afford. And so that's why we're going to talk tonight about defeating your money demons, because it will help you sleep at night. You know, nobody wakes up at night. Has anybody woke up at night and had good thoughts when you wake up at 2 a.m.? I mean, seriously, when you wake up at 2 a.m. and you stare at the clock, is it because you're having good thoughts or are you having bad thoughts? And so what I want to do is kind of help you have the good thoughts so you can sleep peacefully through the night. So tonight we're going to talk about defeating your money demons. And this is very interactive, so you're going to have to work with me. Okay. So your money demons are unhappiness, frustration, worry, anxiety, fear, and they fight against you having peace of mind. You know, so we want you to have positive beliefs so it'll lead to a peace of mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to help you identify your money beliefs, cultural messages about money. We're going to help list some of the phrases or beliefs about it, most commonly heard in our culture. Once it's complete, we're going to figure it out. So on your book, in your booklet, on I believe it's page 4, there's a big long area where you can write down the cultural messages you've heard about money. Some of them might be money doesn't grow on trees, things that you've heard. A fool and his money are soon parted. Any and all of these that you can think of, I want you to write them down. As many as you can. Ready? Go. And there is a quiz later, so those of you that don't write things down, you don't get dessert. I'm not made of money. You know, that's a common phrase that people hear. The golden rule, things like that. So try and think of all the different cultural messages you've heard growing up in your life and then write them down. And this is important for you to do because it's going to help you later on. And I will be calling on people. Okay, let's go ahead and move along, and we'll start talking about it. So I'm going to just ask you guys, Wayne, which one?
I'm on a fixed income.
Okay, fixed income. Kathleen.
Penny save, penny earned.
Penny save, penny earned. Penny save, penny earned. Okay, let's go to this side. Tina Marie.
Time is money.
Time is money. Good one. Good. All right, this side again. Somebody. I'm going to call on somebody. Tim. Ah, or love of money is the root of all evil. Okay. Okay. Somebody, anybody.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Good. That's good.
Can't buy happiness.
You can't take it with you.
Can't take it with you, she said.
All right. so-
Never, never.
Pat.
Well, I know somebody said money talks, but the rest of it is, big money keeps things quiet.
Oh, okay. That's one I haven't heard. Money talks and big money says
But big
But-
money keeps things quiet.
big money keeps things quiet. Ed.
Takes money to make money.
Takes money to make money. That's a good one. Somebody else over here.
Never a lender or borrower.
Never, Shakespeare, never a lender or borrower be. Joanne.
Penny saved is a penny earned.
Penny saved, penny earned. Doug's got one. I know you do. Come on, Doug.
No, I've been sitting there trying, amazed that I didn't.
Okay, Terry.
A fool is often separated from his money.
A fool is often separated from his money. Good, good. Anybody else over here?
Golden rule, goes with the golden rule.
Those with the gold rule, okay. Michael.
Waste not, why not?
Waste not, want not. Good, good. All
God
right.
helps those that help themselves.
Pardon?
God helps those that help.
God helps those that helps themselves, okay.
Gold.
Anybody else? Any others? I think you can see that there's a lot of different cultural messages. Some are positive, some are not so positive. And you don't pick where you were born, you don't pick the family that you were born into. You know, if you were over in, let's say, India, you'd never would think about money like you do here. They have a whole different mindset. Or if you were born in Russia, you'd have a whole different mindset. So your cultural views make up how you think and how you feel about money or relationships. Okay, so what we're now going to do is we're going to identify your personal mindset for money. So we're going to explore your individual interpretations. What family stories were told about wealth or poverty? What beliefs about money did your parents hold? What ideas did you accept or reject? And did you ever worry or complain about money? So on the next page, think about things that your parents told you, you know, whether they were positive or negative. And I'll just give you a little bit of some of my money demons and how I was raised. My mom, oh, you don't talk about money. No, you don't talk about money. You don't ask anybody how much they make. It's you know, it was almost like it was taboo to talk about money at all. And I always thought, well, money makes the world go around. Hey, there's another thing, you know, that you need to know what's going on. And so that was an idea that I didn't particularly agree to, but that's the way my mom was. She was very tight-lipped and everything, and it was just her mindset and her money demon that she was dealing with. Now my dad was a little bit different. He didn't mind talking about it. In fact, I remember talking with him, because those of you who've been around a while know my story of working with him, painting houses during the summers and spring breaks and Christmas breaks. And so, you know, we'd have a little coffee break at 10 in the morning, and we'd talk, or we'd have lunch together and we'd talk. And so I got a little bit more philosophy or philosophical, I guess, with my dad. because I was with him a lot. And he was more open, he was more willing to share. And he believed more in, if you have it, save some, but then spend it and enjoy your life. He was real big on being happy and enjoying his life. And so that was more of the philosophy that I accepted. So what I would like you guys to do now is to write down some of your family stories. What were some stories you were told about wealth or poverty? And then you can go on and move down a little bit further. What beliefs did your parents hold about money? And then we'll talk about it. So take about 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll get started on this here in a minute.
Is that straight?
Good enough. Just to give you guys a little bit more background and talk about some of my cultural communications. My dad was always fond of telling me and telling stories of how he grew up, and he was born in Columbia, Tennessee, and they were okay financially. This was just before and during the Depression. My grandfather was a stonemason, so he was always pretty much employed during the Depression. But big family. My dad had 7 brothers and 2 sisters, so it was a big family. And he would always talk about his mom would get him shoes at the beginning of the school year. He'd have to wear them all year long, and by the end of the school year, the shoes would be worn out, and he'd be barefoot the whole summer. He'd run around barefoot, and then come September when school started, she'd buy him another pair of shoes, and so he could go to school. And lived in hand-me-downs. I mean, with 7 brothers, he was the third from the bottom. He lived in hand-me-downs. He didn't know what a new pair of clothes were until he joined the Navy when he was 19 years old. So, he said he never wanted for food, but, and he didn't know any better. It's just the way he grew up. But they were pretty much dirt poor growing up. So, he came from a very poor background. And I've talked a little bit about my mom and some of her beliefs as far as you don't want to talk about money. She was, a saver and scarcity mode, where it did create some conflict because my dad was willing to spend and my mom was wanting to save, and so that it did create a little bit of conflict sometimes. And just a real funny, or not funny, but a story that I had a client, a couple that came in, and every time they'd come in to see me, they were fighting and arguing about money. And so we did money demons one-on-one with them in the office instead of in a group setting. We did money demons and went through it and talked about different things, and come to find out it was the same kind of a situation. He was a real saver, and she had grown up affluent, let's say, and so money was never an issue. So she was always going out shopping and spending, and he was always concerned because the credit card bill would come in and they'd have to truck it in on a dolly because she'd been out spending at Nordstrom's and things like that. And so they were always having problems and issues, and it really put a strain on their marriage. And so we went through the money demons exercise like you are tonight, and the next time I met with them, it was